I'm going to introduce to you a concept, a possibility. Instead of humanity competing with each other, trying to outdo each other, what if we all served each other? What if we all took care of each other instead of competing with each other? How different would our world be? How different would life be? I believe that, we can get really deep here and talk about love, peace, joy. But I believe that if we all decided to serve each other rather than compete with each other, rather than try to outdo each other, and I like sports. I mean, my favorite basketball team is the Lakers, so I do like competition. But I'm talking about day-to-day life. I'm talking about everyday life. Instead of trying to outdo each other or compete with each other, and we went out of our way to serve each other, to support each other, to guide each other, how different would life be? How different would our world be? It seems like every aspect of life, whether it's religious, whether it's business, whether it's educational, it's always about competing with each other. And I understand that some form of competition is perhaps necessary in order to have a goal or a vision or to stretch yourself or to go beyond your limits. I understand that. But what if we all came from our heart and competed from our heart if that was necessary, or enhance ourselves to evolve and move forward from our heart rather than our mind? Because I believe a lot of the stuff that we do in being competitive comes from our mind or from our ego. But what if we evolved and decided to move forward and be the greatest of who we are through our heart rather than through our mind or our intellect or our ego? I believe that life would be very, very different. I believe our life and our world would be very, very different if we evolved and enhanced ourselves from our heart rather than from our ego. That is my perspective. So again, what would our world be like? Instead of competing against each other, we served each other. And especially for those who know why you're here in this journey. What is your purpose? What is the reason? Your why, your what, why you're here?